Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be doing a fundamental stock analysis of stock MPS Limited. This video is going to be very informative and interesting and fully packed with valuable insights. And by the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding whether this stock deserves your spot in your portfolio or watch list or not. For this analysis, I'll be using a combination of Python code and Excel macros that saves us our time on calculations and preparing charts so that we can focus entirely on interpreting the numbers and uncovering the valuable insights. So let's dive right in. First, let's understand what MPS Limited does. MPS is a global provider of platforms and content solution, has transitioned from captive business to partnering with major enterprises, learning companies and publishers. With a track record of successful acquisitions, MPS employs over 2,500 professionals at 7 delivery centers in India and 7 client serving offices in the US. So, here with this sentence, you get the information what the company does. But let give us some more seconds to understand it better. Imagine you are running a library, a school, or even a company that needs to create a share material like books, training modules, or digital content. In this, you will face two big challenges. First is creating and organizing content efficiently and delivering and updating the content easily. So, where the MPS steps in to solve these challenges. And in today's world, everything is moving online. Schools are adopting e learning systems, businesses are creating digital training programs, and publishers are shifting to ebooks. With this, we can easily understand that this company has very big potential in upcoming years and the business is very scalable. Now, let's analyze the revenue mix of the company. As you can see over this chart, the company is providing its business in three segments. One is content solution, which contributes 51% of the revenue, e-learning solution approx 19%, and platform solutions is at 30%. And the company is doing its business 58% in USA and 38% in Europe and very minimalistic in India. Now quickly let's check the very basic ratios and information provided over the screener website. So the market cap of the company is 3,500 crores. Stock is valued at 29.4 P of valuations. ROC and ROE are quite strong at 35.6 and 26.5% respectively. Also, this company offers a dividend yield of 3.65%, which is a decent for a growth stock. At present, the company stock price is trading at 2055 rupees, which is approximately dropped down by 17% from its recent peak. Let's dive straight in to execute our automation part where we will fetch our screener website financial result through our Python code. Here I have already prepared my Python code in my Spider ID. First, I will update the ticker code and the Excel output name to match today's analysis. Let's do it. Is our ticker code and our Excel file name. Although, what tool do you use for coding? Let me know in the comments below. So with the updates done, let's run our code. The code has executed successfully. And in just few seconds, the Python script has generated an Excel file here. Let's open it to check out the data. Here's the Excel file with multiple sheets containing data fetched from the screener website. You will notice the data is in raw format. To make it more useful, we need to clean and organize it. Now this is where our Excel macros comes in. To execute your macros, you go to Developers tab, then go to Macros. Here you will find all your prepared macros. Let's run our first macro, that is stock format. That will clean the raw data and converts it into a readable format. See, imagine manually formatting hundreds of rows of data in 5 to 10 sheets. It could be 15 to 20 minutes or even longer. But this macro, it is done in seconds. Look at that. The clean data is now clear, structured and ready for deeper analysis. Moving forward, I'll run macro 2, which normalizes the income statement and balance sheet, which is this one. This makes it easy to identify trends in the data. Isn't this a lot easier to read? Let me know in the comments how long does it usually take you to organize financial data manually. Drop your guesses below. Now the final macro, which is ratios and charts. This one calculates the financial matrices and the ratios, generates chart for visual insights. So let's run it, and here you have it. All the important ratios and the charts at your fingertips. Imagine trying to calculate all these ratios and create charts manually. It would be overwhelming, right? With Python and Excel automation, you can focus on analyzing the results rather than spending time on repetitive tasks. This is exactly why Python and Excel automations are game changer for financial analysis. They save times, eliminate errors, allow you to focus on what matters most. That is interpreting data. Would you like a tutorial on writing the Python code or setting up macros? Let me know in the comment section. With all this, our coding and automation part is over. Let's dive into the financial ratios and what they reveal about the company's performance. Don't worry if you are new to this. We will break it down step by step. By the end of this video, you will equipped to analyze profitability, efficiency, liquidity, and more. So let's get started. Let's begin with the profitability and efficiency metric chart. These indicate key indicators of a company's core performance. The operating profit margin is flat and at 31% with a 3 years average of 28%. This shows stable core operations. Have you analyzed a company with stable margins like this? Share your experience below. Similarly, the net profit margin remains flat at 22% with a 3 years average at 21%. Now let's look at the return on equity. It has consistently averaged at 25% from past 3 years, which signals efficient equity utilization. Even better, ROE is on an uptrend compared to earlier years. That's always a positive sign. Let's move to asset turnover ratios. Asset turnover ratio measures the efficiency of a firm to generate revenue using its assets. This downward moving chart of fixed asset turnover ratio flags the area of concern. This indicates either our sales is going down or the company is increasing its fixed assets in recent years more in comparison to sales. To get it confirmed, we can vouch the sales trend and the fixed asset trend. So here we have our sales trend which is quite flat or increasing. Then definitely we will see increase in fixed assets. Let's verify it in balance sheet. See, here we can see the rise in fixed asset trend line. So try to understand in this way. Imagine you own a manufacturing plant and expand your machinery, while that increases your fixed assets. It may temporarily lower this ratio until the assets generate more revenue. This could explain this trend, but it warrants deeper investigation. Now, let's explore the company's liquidity and solvency ratios. Solvency ratios help us to assess company's financial stability and risk. First, the good news is the company has no significant borrowings, which we can see it from here in this trend line, the borrowing trend line. It is a strong indicator of financial stability. Back to the solvency ratio. On the flip side, the debt to asset ratio has risen from 0.24 in 2022 to 0.38 in 2023. It's likely due to an increase in other liabilities. See here, our other liabilities are increasing from year 2021 more than our borrowings. I have a question for you here. What would you investigate further if you saw a rising debt to asset ratio? Let's discuss in the comment section. Now from this other assets versus other liabilities chart, we can compare that the company's current assets are more than sufficient to cover its current liabilities, which suggests solid short-term financial health or current ratio. Let's talk about this chart. This is going upward. This is the interest coverage ratio chart. As we have very minimal to insignificant borrowings, so this chart is going upward, showing a very strong financial stability. After this, let's move to the cash flow statement. Increasing operating cash flow trends, the company's operating cash flow is on an upward trend, which shows strong cash collections, a great sign of financial resilience. The net cash flow was also positive last year, which is always reassuring for investors. So, okay, how important do you think cash flow trends are compared to profitability? Let me know your thoughts. Moving forward, let's talk about the sales performance trends. Before starting, a disclaimer. Do not get yourself confused this with the prior discussed ratios. There, we checked about how much company is able to achieve with operating and net profit from their sales. Here, we were tracking their management efficiency. And here, we will compare the sales performance whether the company's sales are decreasing or increasing with time. For that, we have annual income statement numbers and the quarterly income statement numbers. So we can make judgment on the basis of long-term and short-term performance view. On an annual basis, the sales have grown at an average of 9% over the past 3 years and average 12% over the past 11 years. That's impressive consistency. Out of the last 11 years, there were only 2 years of decline. For the graphic representation, you can see chart trend lines here in this chart. So this trend line represents our sale and this is for the expenses. As you can see, the sales trend line is going uptrend, and also we are seeing a gap between the sales and the expenses, stating that we are increasing with our operating profit. And here this trend line shows the operating profit, which is in parallel to the sales trend line as well as the net profit. This shows a good consistency in the sales performance. Now let's zoom in on quarterly sales trends. So over the last 3 quarters, the sales have increased by an average of 10% per quarter, despite a slight 2% dip in the most recent quarter. And in the graphical representation, you can see the quarterly sales trend is also at uptrend. And here, with a slight dip in sales, we can see a major drop in the expenses, which shows the company's flexibility to get change with their sales. So it's a good indication. And with this drop in expenses, we can see there is a rise in the operating profit as well as in their net profit. Now let's move on to the cash flow statement. The company's cash flow statement is on an upward trend, which shows a strong cash collections, a great sign of financial resilience. The net cash flow was also positive last year, which is also reassuring for investors. Here, I want to ask a question from you. When you are evaluating a company, how important do you think cash flow trend versus compared to profitability? I would love to hear it from you. What do you prioritize? Let's quickly discuss the risk associated with the company that we can judge from the financial numbers. First, let's talk about the operating risk. As you can see in the quarterly income statement chart, the company demonstrated flexibility in managing expenses. With just 2% decrease in sales, the company reduced its expenses by 11%, which ensures the minimal operating risk. And when it's come to financial risk, the company's book shows little to no borrowings that we can see into our debt to capital and debt to equity ratios. This reflects a strong position with virtually no significant financial risk, an excellent sign for long-term stability. Okay, I have a question here for you. What do you think? Companies with zero or minimal debt are always in a better position, or can it sometimes limit growth opportunities? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's discuss the last part of our fundamental analysis. Examine the equity composition of the company. Here, you will see something remarkable. The promoter seems extremely confident about the company's financial strength and the company's valuation. They haven't sold any portion of their holdings in the last 7 years. What's even better? That they have increased their holdings by 0.57% in 2022, which shows a strong confidence in their business. Great. Now, finally, let's look at the technical chart price of the stock. The stock is currently trading in a range of 2000 to 2100 in past 1 week. But if you see the long trend, the stock is currently trading in a range bound of 1800 to 2200, which indicates some stability. However, it's trading about 19 to 20% below its peak price. Let's visualize this. So it's about 19% from its top. While there has not been a sharp drop recently, the stock price appears closely tied to its quarterly results. Alright, before wrapping up, let's summarize the key points. The company shows minimal operating and financial risk. Company has recently high invested in their fixed assets, strong promoter confidence with increased holdings, and stock prices trading in a range bound motion. With all these analysis points, according to me, MPS Limited can be considered as a growth stock with stable margins and impressive ROE. However, its valuation at PE close to 30 makes it hard to call it as a cheap stock. Investor who believes in growth stories with strong fundamentals can consider it, but they should do their due diligence and consult their finance advisor before investing in any stock. Let me know in the comments what you think about this stock and whether it's on your watch list. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more such stock analysis. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out our next video on trending stocks and financial strategies. Thanks for spending your time with me today. Until next time, take care and happy investing.